just gonna shoot him. Why, Danny? God, making me look bad always.
Clip it, Kyle. I don't know.
I don't know who's
I
here.
just assume Kyle is everywhere.
Penultimate episode, guys. Might be somewhat aware of that. Hi, Michael. You can find me at Hexing King on Twitter, and that's pretty much all you need. Twice in the last like 4 months. I think we're good.
Hi, I'm Will. You can find me at Will Roleplayer on Twitter, and I'll be playing Sergeant Logan Reno. Method acting. Mm-hmm. Yes. Smell the jet black coffee and donuts.
The Americans know we got our sleep. Like, nah, you don't get that hour. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Our 306-year-old storyteller still kicking, guys. Oh, should have told me that in episode 1. This would have been real easy. Timmy did it. Bam! You see, Chief, he was a menace to the public health.
He was endangering traffic. He's not important enough for a name, let's be real.
To be fair, he was our first like actual suspect, really, which is also a problem. But Detective Dallas, yeah.
Schultz. Yeah.
Detective Dallas. Remember, we checked it. Were we gonna times? No, we were gonna be Saturday. Where we time and jump to Monday for over the weekend.
Mhm.
You know, Russellville PD gets the weekends off. You know, as all good police officers should.
Hasn't been sleeping.
He's been relegated to just patrol duty for over
Just
an
donuts
entire
around
weekend.
Russellville. Gonna need new tires soon at this rate.
100%. Coffee bean, like the fanciest one in town, like whatever it is.
Mhm.
It was gathering the information on those two, and we were operating under the assumption that because I forget there was the clocks were 3, there was 4 nails or something on the other one, and then we had the $6. So we were
Yeah, so we're looking for a 1, 2, and a 5.
so we sent out for
potentially.
if there was any weird discrepancies in any other cases in the probably bordering states would probably be, but
Mm.
states that bordered Arkansas or then probably just as a starting point, like bordering states, and then if that didn't come up with anything, expanded more.
Shit rolls downhill.
I went and saw that movie that I got interrupted with on this case, and I have expensed it to the department. I'm calling up Grandpa the mayor, like, no, he can't fire me. Don't let him. It's definitely a whole lot of nepotism involved as well. It's Ellis Rockefeller.
It's the fucking Monopoly man.
It's just the Monopoly man. Yeah, no. it may not be limited to kids on this one. But they're criminals or things that somebody
People that have
finds
gotten away with things.
distasteful. Yeah, well, if we can find the, if we can find out, I'm already forgetting the other one's name, but we can see what she was involved in. That might help.
I was just spitballing. I mean, one has last name Will Cox and Wood, but that doesn't hold up with Terry Harlow, so that sort of falls apart.
Ellis is just staring at him like,
Listen,
you haven't slept
man.
much, have you?
I am cruising at 72 hours at this point, so I'm raring to go to the fucking fortune teller at this point. But that's one of my ideas. But
you're gonna go to that tarot reader now.
I mean, it's something. Here's how I'm approaching it. No details, and I would just take what she gives me and just compare it to what the details are within the case. Hey, I mean, it can't hurt. But
I just look at the chief like, and you think I'm a fucking nut job.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm delving into the wood file, see what I can find.
Local to us or local to? I'm looking for the 1, the 2, or the 5. Well, on the priest, I was like, is there any like weird things? And then, is there anything left on the scene?
Had 2 nails in his nostrils and like.
Oh, so they thought she did that. Okay.
No, I can hear you.
I can hear you, but
The little people in chat.
Wait, now they can. Okay.
Oh,
well,
hey.
now, at least you've been able to hear the others. Thank you, dear cousin. Oh, wait, allow. Wait, thank you. Yes, it didn't allow it because it had the N in can and then IKKE, which is not in Danish, ikke. And I think they thought it was NIKKE, which would have been an attempt at a terrible word. Thank you, Patrick. Michael's like, what word?
God, you said N-I.
And we're canceled.
All right, so, well, we'll best give it again then, real quick. The elderly lady, Catherine Wilcox, had a note penned in her hand, which basically stated that she had taken part in several racial attacks in her youth between the 1930s and 1950s. As for Naomi Woods, she had been arrested, but let loose again due to lack of evidence for the murder of a local preacher 3 years prior to her own death.
Lack of evidence again.
Lack of evidence, yes.
So it sounded like there's a commonality of injury through puncture wounds. It has elements of vigilante justice. Two are women, one is a man. One's old, one's towards the middle, and the other's on the younger side, so there isn't an age connection.
Can we get a list of, like, in Russellville, like, if any of our any retired cops.
Retired cops?
Because when you think vigilante, you think people who got away. So who would know all that information? It'd be a cop, a judge, a prosecutor, somebody in law enforcement, or
Old man Batman did this.
Old man Batman. So you want like a comprehensive full list of retired police officers and other people with
judges, lawyers,
people with access in general to
that would be aware of these cases. Potentially.
Yeah.
Sure, you can do that. So you send off to have one of your fellow cops do it, or one of the beat cops.
Officer Ari. We send Officer Ari.
Officer Ari.
We still haven't gotten her a new partner, so.
That's true. Officer Ari is sent off to look up those files, and then she complies. I don't think that's a thing you do in the police force. Probably just says yes, sir, and goes to look through a lot of physical files.
Yep.
That will take some time, absolutely.
Okay. What do you think, Ellis? What are we doing?
So let's see. I mean, we're still looking for 1, 2, and 5. We could check cases here if any of our. What I would know, being the detective, if we had any like cold cases in Russellville.
Yeah. No cold case. Well, you'll have cold cases, but they'll be from way before your time, way before your time, because you know, and you both know that murders in Russellville have been, as we've talked about, like crimes of passion.
Mostly, yeah.
People getting angry about an unfaithful spouse or something like that. Nothing is ever really like murder and hidden, and even if it is, people have gotten caught.
Not serial, yeah.
Yeah, you've never had cereal on your hands. Welcome, Ari. You were just sent out to get files. Officer
sorry for
Ari.
the tedious file job.
The tedious file job, yes. Yes. So you would know that. There's nothing at least that springs to mind. But again, you are Russellville. Like towns of your size are like a dime a dozen in Arkansas.
Yeah, so.
Is there a gun shop in Russellville?
Yeah, you'll have a few. Yeah, you'll have a few.
Ellis, what do you think about going to the gun shop and we ask them within the last month how many people have either purchased a firearm and or purchased .22 caliber ammunition? Maybe that's a possibility.
That's another angle to come at. How, like, once again, timey-wimey, like, I don't know what our time period is on, like, ballistics testing.
Oh, we would have, so
we knew it was a
me
22.
out of game.
Yeah, you already had, you were already told basically the day after that they were 22s and they were rattling around in his brain still.
So so this is me talking out of game. I have like a firearms ballistics book from like the 30s, and it's like super fucking detailed. Like
they're good.
Astonishingly detailed for what you would think. So it would be that much more so by the 80s.
We have gotten like this was a point blank or like.
You would undoubtedly. It would
Maybe
not be
powder on his skull if it was near him.
It would not have the if you hold a gun straight to someone's skin, you'll have like a small burn almost from the heat of it. It wasn't that close, but it was close enough that the gun spray, the powder spray, was there. So basically, we're talking 4 inches away, perhaps.
Okay, so it was definitely not. Yeah, it was definitely, you know. was definitely like it wasn't like he, got sniped while this weird religious ritual was happening.
They didn't
By
hammer
somebody
him.
else.
They didn't hammer him to the tree, and then some hunter was like, "You know what? I'm gonna take him out his misery." Oh, two more for good measure.
Exactly. Just
I'm doing the Lord's work.
hammering out things.
No, there's no reason to try and shoot the perpetrator. We're gonna just shoot the victim.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was just a really bad shot.
It's very true. But yeah, 22's about 4 inches from the head.
We've had different methods of death, right? We had axe, gunshot wounds, and then I forget what the recent one was. The wood. The one that
crucifixion.
Yeah, so that was twice with the crucifixion imagery, but she wasn't shot.
Oh,
correct?
no. She was disemboweled.
So we've had disemboweling.
Well, we keep it in
Again,
mind.
with the year content warning. We'll get graphic stuff. There is talk of, death.
So there is starting to be patterns of 2 in different ways. So 2 of them were acquitted for crimes.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are women.
Crucified. It was also the 2 that were lack of evidence that got crucified.
2, I mean, I forget, Naomi was thought to have murdered a local preacher.
Arrested and released.
There is an odd, 2 of them have an odd religious angle. Wilcox didn't have a religious connotation note, but with the crucifixion 2.
I will say, you would have seen, in the pictures you got from the Wilcox murder, you would have seen little angels and crosses in the pictures, mainly because, like, it's, 70-some-year-old white lady
little
in the
lady
South.
with, like,
yeah.
with her porcelain hammer figures, all that shit, yeah.
But there was no, like, overt religious motive about her murder, and there was no message left.
Of all the priests that have come into town recently, do I know if any of them are, like, recent arrivals? Like, are there any new churches or new priests at the church?
A Catholic church took over. A Catholic priest took over from an older priest who you would have all both, been familiar with. Father, let's call him Flanagan, stepped down, and instead came some other Irish guy. Father Murphy.
Father Shamrock showed up.
Father O'Leary, yes. Yes, Father O'Leary.
Yeah.
Father Dennis O'Leary.
Then we had the Boondock Shake show up and add some more.
I will fucking stereotype Irish all day.
How can we piss off all of Ireland in one episode?
Father Dennis O'Leary. Yeah, Father Dennis O'Leary is the now current priest at yes, Father Dennis O'Leary.
Does he fit our, like, he's about 6 foot, like?
No, Father O'Leary is a small, stout man.
Yeah. Traveling priests? Are there any? Is that
traveling priests? I don't know. Maybe.
Because I'm just like, who would want to do this? And, like, I mean, I like the, like, we think it would be law enforcement or a judge or somebody who would know things, but the religious angle, maybe there's a traveling priest doling out God's justice.
Maybe.
So what I got right now is potentially hitting up the gun shop, see what their records say. The other thing, I know this sounds like 72-hour sleep deprivation talking, but I am serious about checking out the fortune teller. The biggest thing I've heard with fortune tellers is if you seed them some information, they can, do whatever the fuck and put it back to you to try to fit within that. What I'm thinking, we give her zero context, or him, we don't know. and just see what info is revealed within the cards. And that feels like it could be more legit, potentially.
That is fair. I mean, you're welcome to. I'm not wasting my time. But maybe you'll come up with something. I don't.
Yeah. We've checked the nail angle. We've checked the tree.
I mean, we haven't checked the tree angle, but I don't think that's.
Well, I mean, more like how he was positioned on the tree.
Yeah. I mean, there's crucifixion imagery twice. Those were the two that were found, not necessarily acquitted, but lack of evidence made the case go away.
Yeah.
I really want to know where 1, 2, and 5 are.
Well, these twos connection with the twos, I mean, 6 is divisible by 2. So it's a weird way around to get the 3, maybe, that it's in units of 2, and it might be divisible.
So well, I'd just be curious, because we know that she was 4. So if 5 is also crucified, it could be an evolution. Is there like a process to be like, hey, P.S., we've probably got a serial killer? Is there a thing we should do to be like, yo, FBI, South, down here we've got like a
typically you would contact the FBI if there was a real suspicion of a serial murderer. You haven't done that, but
I will probably do that while I don't know what. Why don't you go to talk to the fortune teller and I'll do the paperwork on submitting we got a serial killer. Fucking hell, down here in Arkansas. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Very well. Very well. All right. So you're driving down to the. This should be interesting.
The trailer park.
I hadn't thought this far ahead when I told you there was a tarot card. Let's
there
see.
we go, buddy. Let's see that improv.
What was the name of that? There was Melody Daves.
Yeah. Melody
Daves. Okay. Yeah. So you come down to the trailer park again. You see the remains of a bouquet you could swear that you've seen before. Kind of like over to the side a little bit.
I run over
dusted. And and you park and you walk to the
yellow rose floats by the
yes. You walk over to the trailer that very has a very bright sign with flowers and stuff. It says like tarot card readings, get your palm looked at, the things that they say to sell. Knock on the door, and this tiny little white lady, super white, pale as fuck, with like a flowery kind of like shawl over her, opens up like, yes, oh,
hi there. I was wondering if I could get a tarot reading. Are you open currently, or is it? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the hours.
Kind of looks you over in your presumably police outfit. You are a sergeant after all, and not a detective. It's like, are we here on business or job business?
Yes and no. Sometimes you just need some insight and things.
All right. Come on in. She says, kind of steps away and kind of removes the shawl. It has this like unwashed dirty blonde hair. Very clearly was just like, oh fuck, it's another customer. Let's just. All right. What can I do for you, officer? Come on in.
Yeah, I'm just interested in a tarot reading. Just see what the cards say.
Wait, are you or is it your? Are you're like you the person or you the cop?
Mixture of both. Kind of what I'm doing as a cop. I'm having some trouble figuring something out, and I'm just rattling all the cages to see what I can find. See if there's any sort of thing that could help me proceed forward in the case.
Right. This about Jackie's boy?
Fucking everybody knows.
Maybe.
God, I hate small towns.
All right. No, you don't tell me anything. I probably know already anyway. And she moves over and grabs like a pot of coffee and just pours 2 cups. Doesn't ask you, just takes 2 and just hands you one.
Thank you.
Come over and sit. She picks up the
Alright.
cards and
Take a
shuffles. Like, okay, let's go. And she lays out, I don't know how many cards there are. I have no idea how these things work.
Just improv, baby. Just improv.
So she lays out these cards and she's like, okay. So fuck, how does it go? Actually, I know I can do this somewhat
You
properly.
pull 3 cards, and there's
Right? It's like one is like
It's not even a tarot deck.
one is
It's just
past,
a regular.
one is present, one is future, I believe.
one is past, one is present, one is future. Okay, but it's something like you ask a question, right? And then it's related to that question.
They pick the cards, and you tell based on what cards they pick.
Okay.
I believe. I'm just as.
But there's a question
they-
involved, right?
I think a lot of times
they
it can
ask
just
you
be.
sort of like a. It's more like a love life or.
Okay, wait. Okay.
I think it's just like they do the cards, and whether it's face up or face down can have
There's 2 different like sides.
normal
yeah.
meaning, and upside down will
Okay.
have a reversal meaning.
Well, I
and
can't. Here's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah,
You.
I know
So
it's
yes,
improvised. Yeah,
she takes
doesn't
them
have to
out
be perfect.
and she kind of like just spreads them out and says, "Pick 3 cards."
All right, that, and that.
Thank you.
Place
And she
them,
closes them
give 'em back.
together, takes them, and spreads them out one by one, how you gave them to her, and flips them over, and they show some things. They have some symbols on them. Some, in reality, there's like a hanged man and like a moon and like a sun, probably, and like a mage or a death. In this case, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll ask Ash and see if she can make my rambling make sense. And she looks them over. She says, okay. The individual you're looking for is not far away from you. And he hasn't been far away from you since it happened.
Fucking chief.
But he's about to be far away very soon. Or they're about to be far away very soon, she would have said.
Okay. About to be far away very soon.
It is someone you haven't had a reason to pay attention to.
Someone you haven't had a reason to pay attention to.
But you have had plenty of opportunity.
Very interesting. Yeah.
It's the chief. He did it. Fucking chief. Scumbag. I don't care if he didn't do it now. I'm gonna make it look like he did. And I'm gonna be the chief now.
Look at. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. What do I owe you? It's that is.
Let's say this one is on the house.
Thank you.
I hope
Very
you
nice
get
of
it.
you. Thank you.
Of course, if
I
I
know,
have
like I
to
will.
listen to her crying anymore, I'm gonna go crazy. So
Oh,
I didn't say that, of course. Never would.
yeah. Understandable. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. I better get back to it.
Yes, of course. As you're leaving, you see someone walking hurriedly towards the tarot card reader lady, towards Melody Daves, and she spots them right as she's opening. And she's like, "Oh fuck!" Goes in and puts on the shawl. And it's very much like, "Yes, hello, come in. I will read you your future." And she kind of waves after you, gives you a little wink. It's like closes the door.
I head back to the station.
And meanwhile, at the station, Detective Ellis, you had been compiling files and writing them up and sending them off to FBI.
Just being like, hey, we've got something here.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So yeah, you fax those off with a message. You get a call soon after from a, let's call it Agent Carol Rambo. Rambo, EAU.
From the
Idea.
BAU.
No, not from the BAU.
What's up in 30, please?
He's very quick and brief. She's like, we have received your file. Thank you very much, Detective Ellis. We will give it a look over, and you'll hear from us within the day, with any luck. Thank you. And
Yeah. I
Yep.
hang up on him.
You hang up before they get the chance. Like, okay,
Yep.
perfect. So yes, they will get into
We
that.
both knew that was a pointless conversation. Let's be real.
Yes.
If you were just gonna get back to me later, you could have just done it then. You didn't need to
Fuck your
pre-call me to
confirmation.
tell me about a fucking conversation later. Like,
And yes, eventually Sergeant Reno does get back, unless you had elsewhere you wanted to go as well.
No, let's head back to the station.
so you said there was probably a couple. Well, we'll talk first probably before jumping on to the next thing.
So this is what I wrangled up, Ellis. She didn't have much context on the thing, so it feels like a safer reading, at least to me. There wasn't anything that seemed kooky or, like a farce. The person is not far away from you, but they're about to be be far away from us very soon. Someone you haven't had a reason to look at, and someone near you.
I mean, it's a load of crock shit, but I mean, we don't have a suspect, so yeah, no shit, it's somebody we haven't looked at yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, and if it's a serial killer, yeah, chances are they're not going to stick around. They'll be out of town.
Right. Should we head down to the gun shop while we're mulling over this, or how are you on your paperwork?
You said there were I gotta fucking, they're fine. They'll call later, I guess, if they got shit.
And then Stygian Shroud falls.
Stygian Shroud.
Yeah.
He was a vampire all along. Fuck Alessandra.
Yeah.
It was Kyle all along. Fucking Kyle.
You said there were multiple gum shops. Yes.
Gum
Places where we
shops.
get gum.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few different. Some are more specialized in like hunting equipment and like, because you are fairly close to like not giant forests, but you have wooded areas nearby.
We're in the South in the 80s. Like,
you're in the South in the 80s, and then you also have your like more like just gun nut stores. Where you come in and they're standing with like a magnum, like, oh, you want to see what this bad boy can do? Spit out a tooth. Ding.
Just thinking about everybody we've like come across in the investigation so far. Is there anybody that like size-wise would fit? Like anybody at the bar, really, because that was the place where we just we walked over, and then we were told no, and we didn't check, really.
Roll.
We just took the no at face value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me. Fuck. I hate these.
Roll for fuck.
Roll for fuck. That can be either dexterity, strength, or endurance. Also appearance, I've been told. No. Roll me intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay.
C.
Oh my god.
C.
Let's see.
32 under 65.
Okay. That's a hot success.
Sure, just double checking that I am as sad as I am. Yep. Int of 70, rolled a 72.
Beautiful.
So that's
okay. But a hot success for Michael. Yeah, plenty of people could size-wise fit in. Tons of people, like down at the working area with Bear, where you went to talk to Barry Sussman. There were a number of his co-workers who could have fit in. Better than Barry, and worse than Barry, but yeah, some better than Barry. At the harbor, nearby the River Phoenix. several of the dock workers and the people who you saw down there could have fit. Let's see. There's even like you have colleagues that could fit size wise, just from where you've been, size wise. Okay. There's oh, see, this is
Fucking
why
Kyle.
this is yeah. Officer Kyle weirdly would fit.
He wouldn't fit, guys. None of the officers we've named, I think, would fit other than Officer Cole would be too tall.
Lieutenant Franklin Jefferson would fit.
That's him.
Let's see. What else can we say? This is why I make quick NPC tables. Officer Joseph Hodgson could do it. Officer Ronald Simmons could fit. There's a number of people who would fit.
Are any of them new to the department?
New to the department? Sure. Officer Hodgson has been there for, say, that would be 2 months.
It's him.
Fucking Hodgson.
Is he in?
Yeah, sure. He's over by.
Go and ask him where he was at the time of the murder.
He looks up at you, very confused. He's like,
we just go from cubicle to cubicle, just asking the fucking police department. Jesus Christ.
He looks up. He's like, I was here. I was here at work, sir.
I worked fucking here.
I was on duty.
Can I find somebody to corroborate his
alibi? Sure. Actually, no. He was driving around alone. Because fuck that guy.
Chief, and I'm like, it was our guy.
He looks at you and he just points at the door.
I arrest Hodgson and put him in a cell.
Start yelling at him. Oh no! Floor dice. Oh no!
Oh my god.
I tell him not to leave the city.
I had no intention to. Okay.
Fucking. Oh my god. Okay.
No.
So
on its way under the computer.
Because I'm wondering about, since there are so many gun shops and we can't go. I mean.
Could we send Officer Colton Caroline since we don't trust Officer Kyle?
Well, I'm wondering if there's like, especially with regulation, and would they? Well, this is a good question for the dice, maybe. Would there be records for ammo purchases? I know by this point there'd be regulations on firearms.
Regulation on firearms. There
serial numbers.
There is no regulation on, like, there's no registration for.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really have a paper trail on that.
No.
I like the angle of who would find out about these crimes. I mean, we know that the Terrence Hollow was somewhat of a public case, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, his former. Yes, it was.
Can I just find out if the other ones were as well? Were they like newspaper worthy?
I think you. Yes, Detective Ellis, you're smart enough to know that certainly the older woman, Catherine Wilcox, that was like a well-kept secret. It seemed like that she had been an old racist bag. So probably nothing like big or public about that. The Naomi Woods thing, it would probably have been in newspapers that someone had been arrested, but also quickly released.
But also, is it like how now, where if that was happened, they would just be like, we have a suspect, or
probably.
I mean, they try not to.
Yeah, they don't mention names typically.
Would they wouldn't have named Naomi or Terrence, or would they have?
I don't. Let me check if there were rules about that. Laws against naming suspects.
Because if it was public knowledge, but even then, who would have? If it's not, who would have known.
I would think there would be laws against naming. That's why alleged and all this stuff, because then you might have defamation if it turned out that person wasn't the criminal.
Yeah.
And they would have a lot of public backlash because of potentially being named. Otherwise.
Actually, I don't think there is a law against it. I think there's an ethical issue about it. Yeah, it's an ethics. It's an ethics issue. It looks like rather than
a legal one.
Rather than a legal one. Yeah. So Terrence Hollow would definitely have been named because that would have been a big case.
Right.
Naomi Woods probably would have been named, but it would have been mostly locally. Probably a few national newspapers would have like a small thing about it somewhere, but like some guy getting killed.
Right. Yeah, it's
not
just
like
a one-off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the woman.
The older woman, while not having been named for any criminal stuff, because back when she did these things, supposedly, allegedly,
it was a long time ago.
It was a real long time ago. It was it was between the 30s and 50s. Yeah, so even if newspaper things had been put up, it would have been sadly newspaper.
Would it even have been newspaper worthy in the time period of that?
Exactly. What would have been up would more likely have been the pictures of the victims. And probably crowds gathered around them, embarrassingly.
So who would have... How did we find out that was what she was...
That was added in to the case that you had gotten over the weekend, because you specifically asked for criminal background on the victims.
So it would be somebody in theory who could access the same information we could.
In theory, yes.
I mean, that's the working theory.
Yeah. Though again, like the rumors that you're getting on her could be like a publicly well-known secret, like.
But locally.
Yeah, but locally, yeah.
So, if they were traveling, which it seems like they are, would they just go town to town, wait for something, and then move? If so, we're looking at somebody who's moved in the last, 6 months to a year. But... Can we find out, going to the people we asked about the criminal records, if anybody else has asked about criminal records?
With real estate records, is there anything like if you move into a state, you don't have to say where your prior address was, right? Like if you buy a new chunk of land from a real estate standpoint, what I'm wondering is is there another transplant from Dallas that came a little after Terrence did? Maybe.
You could...
Well, here's the thing. They wouldn't necessarily have had to come from Dallas.
Yeah.
Because they would have had to come from where the fifth victim was. And we haven't found the fifth victim. So what we would be looking, because we have 3 and 4, so if we could find somebody who moved to Lynn something, right? The Tennessee town.
Asheville,
from that town in Texas. That would be what we would probably want.
So it would be someone who moved from Abilene, Texas to blah 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 blah. There it is. From Abilene, Texas to Ashland City, Tennessee.
That.
And then later on ended here.
Now I know I made fun of you for going to talk to the kids, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're the only ones who said anything about Terrence.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tried to get some more info, but
we talked to so far. But if we need
True. I mean, maybe there's others.
But if it is going about the rumor way.
Yeah, people could just start feeding us bullshit. Too.
But if the perpetrator is finding out via local rumors and not through criminal record, which I send whatever file to like the people where we request it to be, hey, has anyone else requested this information? Because I think that would be, because if we get a ping back of, oh yeah, these 3 people also got requests 3 different times right before they died from this cop, you know.
Have people check out
And I don't know how we do
Missy.
the, like, if somebody moved from
Well,
Texas to Tennessee,
but send out a ping to Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and Oklahoma, because those are
the other border.
cases that could be recent
Oh, yeah.
murders within the last 3 years.
Those are the ones that's what you've already been asking for, I think, right?
Yeah, I think we've already sent that out.
That's the
We're
one
looking
like
for
in the
1, 2,
surrounding
and
states.
5.
Yeah, you're looking for the
so
1, 2, and 5.
we did it to the other states already? 'Cause
You're
I
just
didn't know
waiting
that.
for them to get
Waiting
back
for
to
it
you.
back.
Okay.
We're looking for
Okay.
cold cases or
'Cause I
cases that
think
went unsolved. Because
I think it's interesting because there seem to be 5 states that connect to Arkansas, and then you have Arkansas, so it really could be 1 through 6.
He was the most recent, so it would be 6. So that also just put out. I mean, well, that's why I reach out to the FBI to be like, if something a case shows up with some 7 imagery.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
So as you're spending your day, you do get calls in from the surrounding states. You get in from blah 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 blam bam 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 from Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma. No one there has anything. Those are some of the earlier ones you get. Later on in the day, you hear from Kentucky, Illinois. Nothing there either. And it gets pretty late in the day. Like, it gets pretty far out into the afternoon while you're doing your dotting your I's, crossing your T's, going through all these little bits, trying to pull something together. And you hear from Virginia. You hear, you get a fax with a file from last year, from '87, with a little note tagged on that says, "We're still investigating this. It fits with the numbers, but we're not sure it's related." It pertains to a Colonel Chandler Nees, NEAS, 52 years old, white male, found in Radford, Virginia, around 10 p.m. By his wife Patricia on July the 17th, 1987. And death supposedly occurred a few hours before the body was found. It was found charred and partly burned from what authorities believe to be a blowtorch. The victim was also found to have a large hole in the chest from a close-range shotgun blast. The weapon in question was found to be hanging in its normal place above the doorframe of the office. And dotted around the office, or sat around the office, were 5 unused 12-gauge shells. No particular pattern to it, just placed, standing. For the evidence, they have a single spent 12-gauge round still in the chamber of the murder weapon. Entry was believed to have been gained through an unlocked window in the living room of the family home. US size 13 sneaker footprints were found heading towards the woodline behind the family home. There were no known witnesses and no known enemies of the victim. Neighbors in the area claimed to hear the shot, but thought nothing of it due to the proximity to an ammunition plant nearby.
We got the side 13, so we're in that 13 to 13 and a half range.
You said there was 5 of the thingy-mabobs?
Yes, 5.
Yep, 5
they
rounds.
thought nothing of it due to their proximity to the ammunition plant nearby, which had very recently had a big fire thing.
So something went off. That's, yeah. So now we can. So now we need somebody who went from Texas to Tennessee to Virginia to Arkansas.
How close are these things to the border towards Arkansas? Are they far away? Is it something like you're driving around the border of Arkansas, dip into one state, dip back out? Is there any pattern?
No, I know
like
that Abilene is about what is that? A couple 100 miles west of Dallas.
Okay.
Let's see.
So it's not a easy just hop over the border into one other state.
No, we took a look at it. I believe we came to what it was like 8 hours to go to Abilene from Russellville and back. Virginia is certainly way further.
Yeah, way further.
Yeah. Can I get the dates of each of these again?
The dates
July
of each.
17th, 87 is
yeah.
Charred Dude.
Number 3 is Catherine Wilcox. That would be on March 17th, 1986. The 4th victim was just 2 months later, May 23rd, 1986. The 5th victim was July 17th, 1987. And your victim, Terrence Hollow, was June 21st, 1988.
So I don't think it's the time between doesn't seem to matter, but it's so I don't know if they're moving from town to town or if they're what sort of roving job they might have.
Maybe they're a trucker or something.
Maybe they're a trucker or something. But they have to have been around enough to. I send for the criminal background on this guy too.
You very quickly get a response back on that. It takes moments, and it just says classified.
Fuck.
He was a colonel.
Classified and colonel.
You do see that he has a fairly extensive military background, among those being in Vietnam.
I look up who's heading the case.
Ooh, that is actually a good question. That would be let's call it Detective Blanche Dunn. Dunn.
So you say it's getting pretty late, right?
It's getting like late in the afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, then I absolutely pick up the phone.
Okay, let me just. What? Fuck. I need the city again. Radford, Virginia. So I can type this in. God damn it.
VA. Vietnam. That's the first military connection that we potentially had. The other victims didn't seem to have any.
Still pretty criminal. Also,
so yeah,
war crimes.
You you get through
the torch bit.
No.
Yeah, flamethrower.
Yeah,
those were kind of used over there.
But that's why I'm gonna call.
Coming through, get through to Detective Blanche Dunn. She picks up. Yes, this is Detective Blanche Dunn.
Hello, Detective Ellis, Russellville, Arkansas PD.
Oh my. Yeah, I saw you requested those files. I'll send you what I had. I mean, didn't seem connected, but you asked for numbers, and that's what we had.
I at this point, we need all the eyes on this, and I tell them we've got 3, 4, 5, and 6.
So you give her just a basic, quick gist information.
This is the 3rd one. This is the 4th. You've got the 5th, and we have the 6th.
There's also 1 or 2. Also
right.
There seems to be this pattern. One had a clock that was at 3 p.m. and there's multiple different angle photos with time of day in the background different, and yet the clock was the same.
All right.
And I'll pass on the number to the FBI lady or whatever that is. Be like, I've sent it up, but I'm doing what I can here.
All right. Thank you. If you wouldn't mind, send me a copy of all those files you got. I'll make sure to hold them up, and we'll take a look at it more thoroughly.
I will be on that as well. one real question is more. Everyone that we've got seems to be a vigilante sort of situation. So I'm wondering if you got rumors in town about I'm forgetting the name of the victim, but us wouldn't have. They can pretend. I know we got his classified military service, and I'm sure you're reaching the same roadblock there, but you're on the ground, so I'm curious if
Colonel Neese. Give me whatever social skill you would like to use for this, whether it be fast talk, charm, persuade, intimidate. I will say, depending on which you choose, there will be different difficulties.
I feel like, intimidate might not be the angle here.
If you don't tell me whatever the fuck you know.
Where's the goddamn
funnily enough,
fucking
Alice's
Batman
best
over the
one
phone.
is charm.
Obviously.
Charm the information right out of her, man. Go for it.
When he fucking does it, he does it. I mean,
and the blue moon that it happens.
Yeah, no, it's charm.
Yeah, you're standing right next to him, Reno. You're looking at him. You just see this badass, this complete dickhead just go into like, hey.
How you doing?
93 over 55. So no.
You see him try, and then it's just like, hey, just fucking tell me, okay? Like,
yikes, that didn't go well, y'all.
Yeah, now
nice to betray me again.
I'll look into it. Sure, I'll look into it. But no, yes, very much so. The same roadblock here. If we find anything, we'll make sure to tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd probably take the rest of the time just can I psychoanalysis roll also on that? Like, is she hiding something?
Yeah, sure. Give me one. You can both do that if you want. Psychoanalysis or psychology, whichever you prefer.
Yes, psychoanalysis. Oh, okay, psychology. Yeah, I have like 40 in that.
Fuck these dice.
Okay, Wilson.
Six.
Okay.
Beneath the 40.
52 over 51.
That's fine. I mean, okay. So Reno got it. Fortunately,
I'm so mad.
Yeah. She definitely knows something, or maybe not knows, but you get the feeling that there's something she's not sharing with you. You also know that since you're different departments, so that's one thing that might be in your way. Another thing is the very uncharming attempt that Ellis did, and a third may just be that it might not be something she knows as much as it's something she suspects or maybe has heard. Throwing around rumors about decorated military personnel isn't always the best idea for your career if you're looking to go further than detective. So
is there anything off the record that would that you've heard that wouldn't exactly be backed up by strict evidence? I say from my,
from your double, you're two fucking yeah. We're dead. You got that. Roll me your social skill. Which one are you doing?
Fucking. Let's find out. Social. Did I put anything?
I think you took in one of them. Didn't you? Did you do
okay on all of them? Charm was
maybe persuade.
Persuade, yeah.
Yeah. Charm is shitty at 15. Fast talk
I
is.
put charm up to 55 and I still fucked it, which is so on brand for Ellis. But
yeah, so I'll try to do persuade. Oh, come on, goddammit. 5 under a 70. Different dice too. I'm switching dice each roll.
Yeah, you need to get dice from Will.
Is just making up. You can have my dice here.
You hear it go kind of quiet for a while, and then you hear it take a few steps, and then you hear a door close. You can hear all the sounds, because there would have been all the usual sounds from like a police station in the background, people walking around talking. being busy, calls coming in. Yeah, and you hear the door close, and you kind of hear like, yeah. Look, obviously, I didn't say this because there's no evidence of this being true.
Mhm.
But some of Colonel Nee's old war buddies says that he was fairly what's the word? Generous.
Overzealous or
Overzealous? No, generous with his uh, napalm attacks.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Napalm.
How did
'Cause
the
it's-
priest die in the wood case?
The priest died in the woods case. He was stabbed. He had been stabbed. Single, just.
So racially
No, actually,
motivated
it would have
attack.
been. It would have been several stabs. Yeah.
So racially motivated attacks. She almost has her head cut.
Mhm.
Brings to mind graphic content warning and racial history. Lynching.
Mhm.
Second one, stabbing.
Second one.
Disembowelment. Well,
Third with the
third, fourth, fifth, napalm, blowtorch, and then Terrence Hollow, child sexual feelings, and we found him naked.
vulnerable. And... Yeah.
They know what they're accused of.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's doing this knows. Has
And it would
figured
be
it out.
harder. And it would be harder to get this information too. It's not like you just walk up to this person and say, "Hey, what's your deepest weird shit you've done?" No, this is
This is somebody who's around the town long enough each time to get the nitty gritty rumors.
And this is hard info to get. It's as
No, this is somebody who people trust with just shooting the shit. We're gonna want to go back to that fucking bar because that's where people talk.
Is it somewhere? It's like a confessional. I mean, a bartender and a priest have something
Bartender and a
in
priest.
common, where it's kind of like a quasi confessional, depending on who's
What
around.
I know, because you said the bartender's he's a local legend. He's been here his whole life, right? He's not like
it's like the old sports. He's like the Al Bundy. No, you would. That's an old TV show, Michael.
I know that. I know that.
You heard of it, Will, but Michael knows nothing. He is like the old. He was great at football in high school, and like he threw the touchdowns and won the girls' hearts, and then he turned out to actually not be a douchebag in the end. Weirdly.
So, but I feel like we should go talk and see one who was talking shit about Terry and who they were talking to, and also what newcomers to town might have been hanging out in the bar, because I think that's. Or we could go back to the kids and be like, "Hey, did you talk to any other strangers about this stranger's creepy behavior?"
I mean, if you want to piss away another box of donuts, I mean, they
just expensive. That's what I always do, even if I'm eating them.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Get a fucking sugar high? It's better than bribing them with shit they could go buy drugs with.
Yeah.
But yeah. Spitballing question. What was the bartender's size? Obviously you haven't seen his legs because there's the fucking bar, but
Tomlin's a big guy, but he's not huge. He's 6 foot ish, like 180, 190 pounds. Like he's strong.
But if he's been here his whole life, he wouldn't have been in those other towns getting that info. I don't think. We'll ask him where he was.
Yeah.
We, are bad at our jobs before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think we should probably have another chat with him, because That's where I can think of people opening their lips and talking a little bit more freely. Would either, like you said,
Are
confessional.
we saying this over the fucking phone? We haven't hung up with what's her
No,
name?
no, I'm assuming you hung up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming you hung
I
up.
was like,
She's just on the other end, like.
I send the stuff she
Yeah.
asked for, and I send it to everyone who sent us one of the cases with a little like brief description of what we're dealing with
Okay.
and the number of the FBI lady, just to.
And the kit has
everybody's
corkboard, red thread, and push pins available for their leisure, so they can make their own connection.
Very good. Very, very good.
But I mean, because every one we've gotten is an unsolved case, right? It's not like
All of them are unsolved. Yeah, no one has been.
So that's why they've been. So I'm just sending them out there because
Mhm.
more minds, and also
Mhm.
maybe starting to prep for Danny's next team if we don't solve it. They'll have some more informed allies than we did.
I mean, I would honestly say that you've already made sure that the next group will probably be more like FBI. We might have one more group of non-FBIs. We'll see. We'll see.
But in case we don't solve it, give everybody as much as we can.
Yes.
Which, even though that is, I mean, Ellis is an asshole, but he's actually good at his job in the end. Which is one reason he's not getting fired usually.
Is there any private detective agencies in town that isn't affiliated with the police department?
Yeah, you probably have there would probably be like retired cops who found out afterwards that they actually kind of didn't want to stop working, but they just didn't want to be officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's probably one in Russellville.
I'll try to see if I can rustle up that information.
Jesus fucking Christ, I hate that. That's the worst. I don't want you to ever do that again. Yeah, sure. You
get in touch with him. If nothing else, he might have more wizened,
It is a
dick wisdom as a detective,
It is a lady called Gabrielle Cannon.
Gabrielle Cannon. Okay.
P.I. Gabrielle Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Slogan is, "We'll blow this out of the water." And okay, so what are you going together to both these places, or are you splitting up?
I can cover Gabrielle.
I was going to the bar, right? Or was there another
Okay.
one?
A bar?
Yeah. You can
Yeah, I think.
divide and conquer.
Very well. Let's go with Detective Ellis to the bar then. As you arrive, Tomlin is standing outside. Still, same fucking glass in hand, same fucking deal. Talking to a guy whom you, thinking back, recognize from down on the harbor. You saw him a couple times down there with the when they were checking out the fucking boats. That had been pulled up.
The fucking boat.
I love this. I gotta keep this in mind for the future.
If there's not a boat accident in the next group or whatever happens next, I'm gonna be upset.
It's like the 80s equivalent of Somali pirates, and they're the fucking ones. Like...
But yeah, they're just standing there having small talk. The guy he's with standing there drinking a beer. As you approach, Tomlin is like, whoa, hey, detective, I hope you won't bust his balls or nothing, drinking out here in the open. But I figured we'd go outside and talk.
Nah, I'm. What time is it?
It's it would be like early evening by now, I guess, like 6:30.
I'm just about to be off duty. I want to just have I just want to have a chat with you, some of the regulars.
Perfect.
Maybe get a drink.
Very good, very good. The other guy looks down at you. He's like, "Much appreciated, officer. Thank you."
I pull out my flask, just a quick sip. Clearly, I don't give a fuck about
drinking. The other guy kind of laughs, leans down, holds down like his bottle towards your little flask, like clink. Takes a big grin. She's like, He empties his bottle. He hands it over to Tom. He's like, well, I've got to get out of here, Pete. Thank you. If I come back here again, I'll swing by. And Tom was like, yep, you do that, Jim. I'll talk to you later. You make sure to come home safe, all right? And kind of turns around, motions inward, and goes inside, expecting you fully to follow.
Yep. I don't. I pull out my gun and I shoot the guy who's leaving.
Like, who are you?
No one leaves this fucking town.
I shut all the borders. I put out an APB on just anyone.
APB on who?
Down.
Anyone.
No, I put a bubble up around the town. Nobody leaves until I solve this case.
But yeah, you get inside with Pete, and he kind of goes around, puts the empty bottle away. So, what can I do for you, detective?
As you know, I'm sure, because literally everyone knows. Welcome to fucking Russellville, am I right?
Small
Terrence,
town.
I want to know if, I know he hasn't come around much recently, but has he been a topic of conversation?
Oh, Terry? Yeah. I mean, of course, he didn't come here so much anymore, but yeah, he was a good guy. We liked him. He was quiet when he came, but
was he a good guy? Is that what the boys out
yeah,
around the bar?
As far as I know, a little quiet, a little strange maybe, but he didn't hurt anyone here.
Did anyone talk about anyone here?
I mean, I don't know what he did elsewhere.
About the man? Were there any rumors about him that you would hear? Yeah, you hear everything, buddy.
Oh, I wish. No, not that I can think of. I mean, no. Some people thought he was a little quiet, a little strange, but we've got a lot of strange around here.
Yeah, especially moving in with the influx of fucks.
I mean, it's good for business. A lot of that influx is drinking a lot of my beer.
It's good for my business too, but that's not good for the town, is it?
No, sure ain't.
But mind if I just talk to the folks around, just ask, see what people talked about?
Feel free.
So I'm just gonna go around, try and talk to see if anybody has anything of. Yeah, he was a little weird. I'm trying to see who thinks he's weird, because other than those kids, no one said anything.
There's a few people who
perceptive enough to notice.
There's a few people who thought he was like a little strange. It's mainly, as you go around town, you get that it's mainly that he was very quiet. Even when he got a little drunk, he would be a little quiet. Like, most of them get belligerent or like they just say dumb shit. Like, they get drunk.
I'm sure we would know.
Yeah. You recognize some of them as well as like, oh, this fucking guy, 6 fucking beers and he can't do anything. But the gist is, even when he was like pretty damn drunk, he was just kind of quiet, and it unnerved some people. It unsettled them. But he never got into fights. Really, he wasn't a big problem. He was also at the same time, he wouldn't just, if someone went over and pushed him, he didn't just walk away. Like, he didn't wuss out or just let them have it. He just kind of,
stood his ground.
Go the fuck away. Like, he just didn't fight them. And most people would just leave him at it, because it was just like, well, I mean, clearly this guy's a fucking weirdo. I'm not gonna push him. Someone who's that quiet.
Nothing about sexual preferences or anything.
Yeah, sure. You'd probably be here like, oh, he was a little gay, from some people thinking that he was a little queer. Typical like slurs for the 80s would be thrown around, but it would all be like with a kind of like a grin, like, he had his girlfriend, but he was a little,
a little bit of an F.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to the bathroom when he was out there. Who knew? Maybe he was in the stall next to me. That level of bullshit. But most of it is just like, you know, there's always ideas in bars like that with people.
Yeah, but nothing about like.
Mm. Nothing at all that would lead towards what he actually supposedly did.
I make my leave. I think at some point. I have a couple beers, you know.
Yeah,
Stick
sure.
around, try to relax folks into talking
Yeah.
a little bit more, but
Yeah, and that I would say that's probably the only reason you even get as much as
yeah,
him being a little queer.
yeah.
Yeah, by all these defaults. Very well. Meanwhile, Sergeant Reno, you were going to visit. Who was it?
Gabrielle
Gabrielle Cannon. Yes, the PI.
Cannon.
Very well. You arrived. She's up in her age. Like she's in her 50s. She served her time on the PD, but you know her. You probably
Is she the
worked.
detective that retired?
Yeah, the PI. Yeah. You probably known Gabrielle for at least 10 years, and probably worked with her for 5, 6 of those. So you know when you knock on the door and she opens, it's like, oh shit, Sergeant
Hey.
Reno, come on in.
How you doing?
And he closes the door. Oh, what am
Hope
I
I'm
under
not
arrest
catching
for?
Hopefully nothing. Let's see. Was this a good time to chat? Are you busy? Something?
It's Russellville. I'm never busy.
mean,
The only reason I can have this though is because of my pension.
Yeah.
If you don't help us solve this case, I'm gonna end it.
Well, of course. Have you heard? I'm sure with the gossip that's gotten around, loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, the Hollow Kid.
Yep. Honestly, we're hitting a wall with it a little bit, and
Oh no, it's the butcher again. He's just gonna start on his life story next.
I wrote this book. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. From what I've heard, and I'm sure I haven't heard everything, it's not exactly the typical thing you have around here.
Yeah. Is there any? I mean, because I feel like, honestly, I've been up 72 hours. Like this thing is really getting to me.
You look it.
And I can't help but feel that I don't know, time's running out. Another shoe's going to drop somewhere, and I just feel like I couldn't sleep because of it. Is there any angles you could think of that I might not be thinking of? I mean, I went to a fucking fortune teller earlier today, so I'm
not the first. You're not going to be the last.
Pulling out all the stops here, coming up with something.
I mean, I don't have all the details, but from what I know, the poor boy was nailed to a tree naked, right, and shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, obviously the nailing to the tree is more about some sort of humiliation or punishment, right? And the shooting is just the murder. That's about all I know. So I would look at what would I look at? I would look at someone looking to punish him more looking to punish him for something than murdering him. Like the murder of the boy seems like it might have been it could have been just like a random thought, or it could have just been like a necessity, If he had seen who did this to him, can't exactly leave a witness like that alive. I mean, even if they didn't shoot him in the head, that would be grievous bodily harm or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be very, yeah. What we're finding, maybe you could suggest something on this. We're finding there seems to be a string of murders So far, we have 5, and they all have a connection that whoever murdered them somehow knew grievous things from the victim's past. For example, there's one individual, decorated vet from Vietnam. It's found murdered with a blower torch, and there's hubbub that he may have been overzealous or with napalm. And yet, my question is, unless there's somebody that's either active police or I can't, who else would have the wherewithal to dredge through records? Because that's difficult info to get. How does one find these seamy details about people to know to then, I'm gonna vigilante kill them?
That's a good question. Police, judges, lawyers, but even lawyers would have to go looking for it. Journalists, maybe. I don't know. Fucking psychics. Who knows?
I mean, I was at the fortune tellers.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It would need to be someone who knows how to act, but really, a lot of shit can be accessed no matter who you are. There's not a lot of things that are impossible to get. It's just a matter of asking the right people.
Judges, lawyers. Yeah. Well, of course, you have my number.
Yeah.
If you think of anything else, let me know.
Sure, will do. I mean, send whatever you want me to look at my way, and I'll get looking. But I
actually made extra copies. So here are the cases.
Oh, well, shit. You do know if I catch this one, you're gonna pay me, right?
I mean, at this point, I just want the fuck catched. I don't care who catches them.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. You understand? You're gonna pay me.
Yeah.
It kind of flips through. It's like, all right. Well,
I got my penny saved up. If it means something fucking happens, pay it out of my own damn pocket.
Gonna be a lot of fucking pennies with the file size this thick, boy. All right, yeah, you get on your way then now so I can get to work.
It's even worse than the Busher. You just gave the case file to a civilian. And y'all thought Ellis was going to be the one who was going to get fired.
Oh, God. Yeah, you leave it? Yeah. Okay, so you're both going back to the station, or are you going home for the night? Because it is at this point. Yeah, at this point we're talking like 7.
Probably home.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did you say back to the station or home?
Home.
He went home.
He was drinking with the boys at the bar, so that was the end of night interrogation.
The palate cleanse.
How long do you stay there, Ellis? Like a good late one, or is it? No,
but he's out of there by midnight. But yeah.
Oh, by midnight. At some point, you would have. I'll give you something extra. You would have picked up. Someone would have been like, that Holo boy didn't really care for fucking his wife. He said it was weird. And that's kind of all you get. What you get is more like, I don't know. So it felt weird.
Is there anybody new in town that showed an interest in him? That would be like another question of like, was there anybody else who was like really curious about him?
Let's see. You asking around with that question?
Do you need me to roll charm again?
No, I need to roll to figure out what I want to give you. Let's see.
She did it. It was Jackie the entire fucking time. Running around with pillows attached to her.
No.
Under the hoodie.
No, I mean, basically what you get is the same, like, I mean, he hadn't really been here for a while. He didn't really come here anymore, so no one thought about him at all over here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Damn. Whew. I was almost spilling something right there. And then I remember he hasn't been there for a while, which is good. Yeah, so the night passes. You both come into work. Ellis, a little worse for wear, maybe. Then again,
No,
this
no.
might be his standard.
He's totally fine. One, he probably didn't drink that much. He probably, made the beers last, but
got some apple juice instead.
he just took a long time on each beer. He was probably there for what, 3-ish hours if it was 9, so he probably only did like 4 beers.
If he was there till midnight, he was there for like 5-6 hours.
Oh, then he probably did like 7 or 8 beers. But over that period of time is nothing.
Yeah, it's not too bad. He made his.
He absolutely.
He made his way. He made his way home without a scratch. Yeah, as you come in the day after, you spend some time looking over the cases and kind of like, and probably staring in complete silence. The entire room of officers stop and stare intently at Reno if he tells them that he gave the PI that file. It's like for a while just looking at him and then just going about their work again because it's not.
Would
at least
Reno be like, "Hey, I did that," or is that on the side?
Not.
Probably not. Yeah. You don't hear it. But yeah, you kind of meet.
Butcher, on the other hand, like, here you go.
You kind of inform each other of what you heard, what you were told, and so on. What the PI said based on what she had heard. I would assume that Reno tells. And then at some point during around noon, you get another message on the you don't get another message. You get a call from Detective Schultz. Like,
hello.
Hey y'all. I've gotten to look. Thank you for the files you sent me. I've been looking them over, and that colonel looks about right. Now I've been looking around, and I contacted the FBI lady there that y'all contacted as well. I had them help me look up a bunch of 1s and 2s, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a fucking dig getting that out. Do you have any idea how many people were shot with 1 gunshot?
Yeah, no, I
2
presume
gunshots.
That finding those 2 were gonna be the harder ones to make, but also.
I mean, I have a bunch of files, and I'm going through them.
3 was the clock.
6
4
was the change on the ground.
6 was change on the ground. 5 was... What was 5?
Shells.
Shotgun shells around
shells. Okay, so yeah, it's
body.
They could be what was. Were they used shotgun shells or
unshot? Unshot.
Unused,
yeah. Unused,
then,
yeah.
And then 4 was the nails.
Yeah, that were used to kill her, though, right? But they were hung up. Yeah, disemboweled. That's right.
It's never the method of murder is never the numbers.
I'll go ahead and start pruning because that's fuck. And you hear him kind of like.
There's a layer of sadism there.
Boom, just like
rid of a lot of them, yeah.
Just starts throwing. You can just hear like, oh shit. Okay, wait. Okay, I got something here. And he starts like mumbling to himself like.
I also tell him the date of 3, and I'm like, anything after that you don't need.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a lot, but I have one here that's interesting for one. Let's see. August 30th, 1984.
That tracks.
Let's see. Nathaniel Folk, 32, Caucasian male, found in Medford, Oregon, at
Oregon.
11:30 by a
Way
coworker.
outside our regular range.
Wait the fuck out.
Didn't show up for work, didn't answer his phone. Death occurred around 1 a.m. Found naked, arms and legs spread out like the what? Oh, like the Vitruvian Man, the Da Vinci guy. Let's see.
Right.
Death by strangulation had a singular long deep cut from neck to genitals performed after death. I guess that covers it, right?
Yeah, if you don't mind sending the file, I'll send out for criminal record on him.
Yep, will do. Yeah.
Where was the starting point? Down to genitals? Neck to genitals?
Neck to genitals, yeah.
And
Big
cause of
head
death-
to small head. Strangulation.
Strangulation.
Looks like, let's see, length of cord.
Length of cord.
Yes, sir. The knife used to cut was found discarded not far from the body. No fingerprints. Footprints near the window believed to be the entry point. U.S. size 13.5 work boot. No witnesses. Friends and family claim no enemies. Same old, same old.
Another 13 or 13.5. There's another
Right.
layer there. Shoes.
You hear the familiar like gets it up between his shoulder and his ear, and you hear him just start going through like the fucking fax machine.
Oh, the wonders of the 80s.
Yes. I'll keep looking. This one looks good. If I find any other ones, I'll send them. If I find any twos, I'll send them.
All right. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. And
Gotcha.
I send once because he gave us the name, so I send for the criminal record on him
Yep.
to Oregon, and I reach
Uh,
out once again to whoever's leading that case over there to be like, hey, call me.
Yeah.
Like whoever was head on that case. Try and loop in again another one, you know,
Yeah.
because Oregon's far.
That's fucking
Oregon is far away. Yeah, that's all the way up on the west coast.
It's over
Yeah.
closer to where I'm at.
Yep.
So that's easily the furthest. But
Yeah.
also that'd be the very first. So he's
Mm.
making his way across. But then he
Yeah.
doubled back for 6.
Yeah.
And somebody who's going back and forth, I wonder.
Yeah.
Because they were going this way, and then Virginia, you make it to the coast, you come back, you hit Arkansas.
Is there a trucker refueling station that truckers will, get repaired, work done on their 18-wheelers or such?
Nearby. Not
Yeah.
in. Well, yeah. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, there's one out by the highway because you have what is it, Highway 40 running right on the northern side of Russellville.
Mhm.
And yeah, there would be one out there somewhere.
I mean, we could check
Yeah,
with truckers. My thought is that it's not
Not truckers.
transient as much. Well, because it feels like unless we can find how they're getting the information, it feels more like they're hanging about in each location until they find a
While.
victim.
Yeah. It's not like you just drive in. Oh, what's your deepest, darkest secret? Oh, I'll kill you now. Okay.
Unless you've got, which we sent for the day before, we sent for any like to the people who gave us the criminal records. Hey, did anybody else request this stuff? Right.
Mhm.
I presume we're getting a negative back.
Big negatives from everyone. I mean, aside from the typical.
Like
Oh,
each
wait, oh,
one would
wait.
probably get the lead detective on that case or whatever.
Yeah. No. You were requesting if anyone had asked about their previous cases of the victims, so they would know what they had done, right? That would have been
like,
that would have been
criminal
that would have been a big negative.
Yeah.
No one had requested anything.
And then we did like. I
But
don't even
again,
know if this is a thing we could check, but we were like trying to figure out if there was a way we could check. Like, somebody was here,
Mhm.
they moved here, then here, then here.
There's a few cases that kind of intersects with some of them. So like, someone moved from Abilene to Ashland City, but they
Right.
didn't then move on, and you have not had a single person move from Radford, Virginia to Russellville. So there are some that cross over, but none of the names repeat themselves in any of them.
So
Now,
either they're
does
using a fake identity each time, which is a
possible?
whole ass thing, or
Now,
they're just coming in and hanging out.
yeah. Now, does the? I mean, we're sort of
How do
splitting
they
hairs
find
here
out? Yeah.
a bit,
Yeah.
but does the Vitruvian man? I mean, that feels a little bit more. I mean, we are dealing with people, but I mean, is that more extra going on than? I mean, I
I mean,
don't know.
I
I
asked them
have
to
no idea.
call. We'll see if the case is we think that fits. But
But I was wondering if that's like too extreme for what this fuck is doing potentially. But I don't know. I mean, murdering. They
I mean,
might have be more sadistic today than I was
I
last
mean,
time.
the Vitruvian man is basically just someone holding out hands
Like
and
that,
arms out,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
except
technically, he would need multiple arms and legs, but that's not.
yeah. No, it's and he was lying on the ground. Like he wasn't hung up like it. He was just on the ground.
He was
like
just
that.
on the ground. So yeah, somebody strangled him, stuck his arms, legs out, and then cut him. That's not too bad. And as a first one, but we'll talk with the lead detective and see if anything. So, but I feel like the key to this is how he finds his victims, or she.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's unusual. When I chatted with 72 hours, Cannon, I was rattling her cage, wondering what she thought about who could get the information, you know. And she was, saying psychics, police, judges, lawyers, and basically anyone who was just good at researching. But
We can't even get the information on the colonel.
yeah, yeah.
Nope.
Maybe it's someone he knew.
If it
Maybe
was something,
that's.
but it doesn't feel like there. I mean, if
How do
if you were
you
working
get
up
all
to
these
the
people from all these different places? I mean, how much time are they spending to get the info to then be able to do all this? I mean,
if we check, they weren't like all. Well, they're all different ages. They wouldn't be military.
all
I go
different
back. I'm
ages.
just coving through those files. Like, were these people all something? Is there something we're missing?
No
It's
military
connected.
connection with. Actually, Naomi Woods would have had a father who had been in the military. No one of note. No one that had seemingly anything big connected to him. Catherine Wilcox, probably. Yeah, Catherine Wilcox would have had a husband who was military as well. He would be dead. And would have been for a while now. Nathaniel Folk, you're still waiting for the info on. A lot of info on. Terrence Hollow. Yeah, Max Hollow would be a former military man as well. Wouldn't have wanted to make career. You could maybe even sense it on the conversations you've had with him, the disciplinary kind of thing. Also, the way he spoke about his son. Like he was definitely like he was cut out.
yeah, no
That's
doubt
about
that.
it.
Yeah.
But you do spend a lot of time going through all these files, and you do get a fax from Oregon, from Medford PD.
Oregano.
Oregano, yes.
Oregon. It's literally like the things in our bodies. Oregon.
Oh, good
Just making
lord.
fun of them now.
You are sent a fax that Nathaniel Folk was seemingly a well-functioning man in his early 30s, had an office job, didn't really stand out. He was part of an he did he did lose his grandfather under mysterious circumstances when he was 19. They went out on a hunting trip, and Nathaniel said that on the second day, his grandfather just didn't return. They had basically split up to hunt in different areas nearby, and they were wearing their vest and shit, and the grandfather never returned.
Was he found dead or anything?
Was
Anyway?
never found.
Why strangulation?
Maybe that's how. I mean, the running theme with all these is.
But if
somebody
we don't
did
even
something
know
in
that
the
he's
past.
never found, right? But if
I
he
mean,
killed
yeah,
his grandfather, but then how did this fucker know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to the head detectives on cases and ask how the victims' families reacted when they found out the victim was dead in each case. Because we know that Terrence Hollow's dad kicked him out, right?
There would be witness statements, of course, and all of the families would be very upset, except for Hollow's.
Fuck. I was like
Catherine's.
I was like, they all got disowned, and then the families hired somebody to kill them.
Catherine's grandchildren and children would have been devastated. They would have thought of her as just the best grandma in the world who could do no wrong ever. Let's see. Nathaniel's parents and siblings would have been crushed as well. The loss of him at such a young age, seemingly for no reason, such a violent way. Yeah, it goes all the way through. The only one that stands out there is Terrence Hollow. Yeah, I will say Naomi's parents would have said that she was troubled, but they would have described her as being troubled, but they loved her, and they would never have thought that they'd lose her in such a young age.
Waiting for the Oregon call, I think, because I need to be like, we need to find out why strangulation on that case, or maybe that case isn't number one, because it's far, and the crime doesn't match the method of murder as far as we're aware, because in that case, if it followed our pattern, there'd be something relating to a disappearance or something. Unless his body showed up, but we would know that.
Is it the fucking Fibonacci sequence? Like what? I mean, let's say for a moment it is a Vitruvian man.
I don't know.
Vitruvian man.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's not the Vesuvian man. That's over in Italy.
Venezuelan man.
I mean, let's say for a moment it is. It's not confirmed that is the first case, but let's just think for a moment if it is. It shows a level of sadistic pride. I mean, do they think that they're Da Vinci? You know, they're idolizing Da Vinci.
Well, they know of it.
Well, yeah, at least.
Or the case is like, yeah, he's in that pose. When it's like, why did they specify that pose versus just if he was just like that?
Eagle.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a circle? Because it was like done and it was like a blood circle around him or something. That would make it more like.
There was no circle described in the paper. No. It was just laying out.
Spread eagle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level of dramaticness in all the cases. I mean, obviously, because it's a fucking murder. Do we have a traveling theater troupe? Is there like a vibrant arts district in fucking Russell. I don't know.
No,
I doubt it.
Russellville is not big on the arts.
I didn't think so.
You can certainly study art in school if you want to, but you should probably expect the other kids to call you a nerd.
Probably the best case scenario on that.
Yeah, exactly. Someone tried to start a Dungeons and Dragons club at one time. Oh boy, they're still scraping his blood off the walls down there from all the regular beatings. Poor guy.
Yeah.
What would take you from Oregon to somewhere, to Texas, to Tennessee, to Virginia, to Arkansas?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's say for a moment you want to.
No, it's not a.
Not spelling shit out. Like, find me dumbasses. Like.
I mean, that's some Zodiac killer bullshit.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, I'm Joe Murder. I kill someone. I want to keep killing people. Well, I want to reduce the likelihood that I'm found. I move elsewhere, so I'm not just creating a bunch of around the location. So whoever's looking for me can just hone in on
like an RV park. Because if there's no real estate records, what if they're just going around in a fucking RV home?
Yeah.
Parking up.
Sure, let me check something.
Could they park? Could the RVs park in that trailer park? That's near.
I would say yes. The trailer park. The trailer park they can certainly park in.
Yeah.
You also, like I said, you have a lot of nature areas around you.
Is it a Winnebago? Is it tan?
There's tons of places where you could literally just park it and no one would disturb you.
Do you want to talk to Jackie again, Reno?
I'll do it.
You talk, but ask her about like if there's any new people in the neighborhood who she talked to a lot about her and Terry. Yeah. I hear that they had some problems in the bedroom, perhaps? And she didn't mention that at all. At the bar, they said he was a little, fruity, and we know his preferences may not have been her. So maybe she was confiding in someone about their problems. And if
maybe
they
she
are
talked to somebody, and then through that information, that ambiguous third party then took matters into their own hands.
Maybe that's how they found the information in this case.
Maybe.
Instead of figuring out how they knew all of the cases, we should figure out how they knew Terry.
Right. And so I get in the car, have Ellis, and start driving to the trailer park.
I do not go to the trailer park. I do not go.
I figured you're staying in the car if you do go.
I'm gonna go. I think while you do that, I may go talk to Dunbar and see if he has any updates.
Okay. Good point.
Yes, I actually forgot about Dunbar, so thank you for doing that. Very well. Let's go to the trailer park first. Where you get out there and you go up, you knock. Jackie opens, and as soon as she sees you, can just see the look on her face, just like, no, I don't. You didn't bring the little dumb one, did you?
No, I figured you had
shoot her from a distance. Thank God.
I am just like,
I can't believe he's so rude. I feel terrible.
Well, that's why I'm out here. I figured you were tired of that presence.
Thank you.
Odd question. Well, I don't want to assume. Are you willing to chat, or are you still?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't have him with you.
Okay.
Peeks out a window.
Strange question. Has anyone relatively recently come into the trailer park, maybe even using an RV, but and did they befriend you potentially?
No, I mean, I think the last time we had an RV was we had some earlier this summer, and they'll probably come again in August. But I don't think we have any right now. And I usually stick to myself. I don't want to talk to those weird tourists. They come down here up from New York or Washington, thinking they're coming down here to see their own brand new redneck family. You know, we ain't them monkeys. We don't dance for them. No, no. I will. Terry did say he. Terry said he saw someone out in
Really?
the area out here. Um, that would have been last weekend. So like a week and a half ago, someone just standing out there looking, saying like not close, but just kind of like looking around. And then yeah, I don't know. He said, but then because he made me nervous. But then when I told him to go look again a little bit later, he was gone. It was no more than like 5 minutes later, so he was only there briefly. I just assumed he was looking for someone.
Well, that could very well be what we're finding. It may be that Terry was part of a wider string of murders.
Terry?
And yeah, no, that him being murdered, there's other people that are sort of fitting within this pattern.
That's awful.
And
now the entire town knows there's a serial killer. Great.
You're not here, Ella.
You don't know.
No, Michael does.
Yeah. So what? Okay, so was Terry the gossipy type?
No, I wouldn't say that. He barely talked. I mean, I could make him talk, but any woman can do that with her man.
So just out of game real quickly, did Ellis mention that weird fact that he got at the thing? Did you convey that to Reno at any point?
I think he did that.
No, we were talking about how it was like, yeah, no, he's I was having troubles in the bedroom with his wife.
He found it weird to have sex with his girlfriend.
That I need to clarify. Did the man say wife? Because you
No.
I
think he would just have said like his old lady. His woman.
Just so we're not like, wait, we found out he was cheating and I was right. I kicked the front door to Jackie's open.
Yeah. Where is she? Right.
Miss Sussman, there's no real delicate way to put this, but in our efforts to try to narrow down what has been going on, we heard a bit of gossip that
you're gonna get kicked out too.
There's just no way to fucking say this without.
Well, come out with it, man.
There was chatter at the bar that Terry didn't enjoy being with you in intimate ways. Now, from what we
excuse me,
I don't know. Listen,
excuse me.
We should have let me do this conversation. Oh no.
The only reason I'm mentioning this is, from what we've observed, he seemed to be a very private person, and it doesn't feel like he would mention that sort of thing from what we've observed from the way people talking.
Roll me
I know
persuade
this-
while you're talking, by the way.
God.
What an absolute disaster, this poor woman. Hey,
That's-
I know he's dead, but like, can we
He
get it
also
up?
did say, fuck you, so you can take that with you.
How much?
That's a 66 beneath a 70. For
Okay,
persuade.
so success. Okay.
So I just don't know whether this is, people just say random dumb shit.
Right. Okay.
But-
Let me stop you right there. First of all, me and Terry had a loving relationship. Okay, we loved each other. He loved me, and I loved him. And if a man sometimes have trouble, that's only natural. We made it work. Lord knows it took some time sometimes, but we made it work.
Okay.
But it wasn't because of me. I mean, look at me.
Nope.
Did you get my flowers? Just by the way. Ashley says that. Oh man. Come on. Got a chance here, Reno. Come on.
No.
Take it.
Jesus Christ. Because what
Oh, lordy.
was there? Did Terrence talk to you about his troubled past at all?
I know that they accused him of some terrible things that he didn't do, and he was let go because they knew he didn't do it. They couldn't prove anything. No evidence. I mean, he didn't do it.
Because what you're mentioning, that someone could have been here looking at the area. It could have been somebody was casing and looking for information, because whoever did this seems to be the long sort of thinker. They're not just doing it as a crime of passion. There's more going on. So has there been anyone odd around that just is too prying? That just
No more than that. No, she bitch Melody. I looks over and you see Melody just quickly like behind the curtain. Yeah, she's always looking. No,
Okay.
I don't think so. Not aside from that weird man. But I mean, we didn't see him again. I think. I mean, I haven't seen anyone weird around here.
Did Terry describe what he was wearing? Was
No,
there
he
any-
just said it was like a tall guy with a hood.
Any color of the hood?
Not that I can
Any
remember.
level of detail?
I just remember tall guy with a hood.
Okay. Because that does match up to something that we have observed on security cameras. Okay. Well, if you think of anything else or something comes to you, let us know. And I know this is a very
Yeah.
cumbersome time to be going through. Heart goes out to you. Let us know if you need any. Where's counseling services available?
Thank you. And Officer Sergeant, if you have any more questions, make sure you come back. Not that other guy.
There's a running. I'm making my rounds because Ellis is expert bedside manner. Thank you. And I make my way out of the place and GTFO.
Okay. Yes. And as you drive away, not too far away, about a mile or two away.
Also, I'm keeping my eyes fucking peeled as I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Just like
making sure you get everything in. Okay.
Yeah. It's trying to be a visual sponge. Just
So you
soaking
notice
in.
like a few people of the locals, especially in the trailer park, looking. Mostly just standard curiosity. People trying to see who's coming and
Gossip
going.
mongering.
Gossip
yeah.
mongering, yeah. Meanwhile, Detective Ellis is down at Dunbar's Auto Repair.
Yep.
Throwing ice cream cones at children.
Yeah. Knocking
I'm throwing
over,
ice cream cones. I'm throwing tear gas. Get it right.
scratching people's cars with their keys. Just making extra work for Dunbar. And yeah, Dunbar does come out. Like, oh, Ellis. Yeah, I've been meaning to get in touch with you, but it's been a rough weekend over at Castle Dunbar.
I can imagine. I just wanted to check in, maybe get an update, and
Yeah, I talked to the boys down at the football. None of them seem to have anything. But my boy did have a little incident. Apparently, it wasn't much, but one time when they were out fishing,
content warning, children.
content warning, yes, goddamn it,
Possible abuse.
goddamn, yeah, big one. Not even gonna do the sound because it's yucky. One time they were out fishing. Apparently, Terry kind of grabbed him by the thigh. But he stopped. He said, "Ken." Like it was just there for just like a moment where it got kind of weird, apparently, and had his hand on his thigh, and apparently they like stopped, and Ken looked at him like he was confused apparently, and Terry took his hand off. So I don't know. Maybe he just realized he wouldn't get away with it, or who knows?
Maybe he was trying to be better, and he had a moment where
Could be.
doesn't forgive it, but
It does not, and I am, not to sound insensitive, happy that I didn't find out until after he passed.
I agree, but I still want to know who did this and what it's about.
So do I. So do I. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't had anything down here. There's been no talk, no weird people coming around.
No, but we've gotten some further information that further complicates everything.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Always.
Anything you need from me?
I think with that update, I think I may have what I need on that one. Just wanted to check in, see how you and the boy and everybody was. Did any of the kids say they noticed he was weird though?
No, I mean they all just kind of, yeah. Well, they all said they found him funny. Like he was fun, but he was also like a funny guy. Like he was a little strange. Well, it was just I always noticed that he was almost like
Fruity, maybe.
well, they didn't use the word, but yeah, I suppose you could say he
Was what they were getting at.
so he was good with with the training, because he was like a big kid, right? Like when he was around with the kids, he played around with them. Like he took part in the training. He wasn't just the coach, their assistant coach. He was there to work out with them too. He ran the ball with them, tackled. Got tackled.
He led by example a little bit.
Yeah, he wanted to be part of the team. It felt like. I don't know what that boy did in the past, but I think I can guarantee you that he also never got, friends the way most kids do.
It sounded like home life would be an interesting one when I spoke with his father.
Yeah, well.
But thank you for talking to me.
Of course, Ellis. Anything you need, you just come back.
Hopefully I won't have to too many more times.
Fingers crossed for both of us.
Agreed. I go back to the station, but I'm just like, what if the reason? What if they're not finding out from anyone else? What if they're finding out from the victims? What if the
Wow.
victims are like trying to repent for something they feel bad about doing? And they've confided in someone that they trust. And that person kills them. That would explain why he went willingly.
Wow. Yeah. There's also the fact that there was a.
I've been onto something with your confessional thought there.
I'm wondering. Well, chatting with Jackie, Terry observed a individual in a black hoodie, basically casing the trailer about a week before, and they looked out later and he wasn't there anymore, but it's an angle. And
just to quickly correct you, it was the weekend before, so like
weekend
2-3 days before.
2 to 3 days before. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, that's even more weird. But I'm also forgetting she didn't remember the color of the hoodie, but I'm assuming it had to have been a black hoodie.
It was while it was dark, so it stands to reason that it could have been dark, right? Yeah.
You know, it wasn't pastel green or, you know.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't
really
something that stood out.
Yeah.
If we ask would we know if the trailer park has like cameras or something? That's probably a no.
They wouldn't have, no. Not at that point.
Yeah, no.
So they're casing the joint shortly before they're killing him.
But they didn't ever go to the trailer, as far as we know. That was never part of the. They got him outside the.
Why did you turn and shush them in that footage?
That's why.
You know. And we have Eddie's thing, and when I cross-examined Eddie, I asked if when they were talking, if it was loud, and he said no.
There were no sign of a struggle.
No sign of a struggle.
When you mentioned in all the cases were they restrained? Because we know that.
I mean, the crucifixion is kind of restrained, but.
And we know that she was in a chair, but was she tied to the chair?
On the crucifixion case, was there evidence of the cross she was on it and then they tilted it up, or was she placed up on it and then
I think it would have been assumed that she would have been laid down on it and then lifted up. Because crucifying someone is hard.
A fucking difficult
to begin with,
You're not just, you know. Was there evidence of how they leveraged that up? Because I'm no crucifixion expert, but how do you how do you get that going?
Not directly, but it was on a crucifix standing. So with some deduction, you could probably calculate your way into it being something like digging a small hole and basically just pushing it into the hole and getting it up. Naomi Woods was not a big person. Like she was a small, fairly light woman.
Okay, so it's not as much of a monumental task.
No, it's definitely doable. Definitely doable.
Oh man. But to answer your question,
in Oregon, if they're telling the person who did it, it would explain why we can't find anything.
Yeah. If it's coming from the victim, I mean from the victim, you don't have to, dredge up everything and on the cross-examination on the, figure out the files. Fuck the files. You just get it from the victim. That would add a level of simplicity.
Do I know if would it have come up in anything that Terrence Hollow was seeing a therapist or something?
No.
Yeah.
Can I pull up his medical history and check on that?
You can certainly call in and ask for it, so to say. So you send in, you ask for that.
Just to see.
Yeah, and it's we're at some
Excuse
point
me,
in
Ellis,
the
I need to
afternoon.
turn on the station light here. It's getting a little dark. There we go. I got my.
So yeah, it's afternoon.
Chief, why does he have a totem pole? Just to like turn
That's
on the
my
light that's
We
like 20 feet that way. He
are
can
not
That's my-
we're not discriminating based on denomination here.
just. Are we sure
That's
it's
a
not
walking
Ellis?
stick.
Or-
It's not a totem pole, Ellis. That's just lines. Totem poles have more.
They're
I don't
Decorative.
know. It's a pole and it's decorated.
You
Close
got
enough.
you got to have hobbies with this job, Ellis.
I'm
or
gonna
else it'll
tell
get to
I'm
you.
gonna tell Officer Colt you said that. Yeah.
And what of it? But I mean,
Oh, you'll see.
therapist,
That
confession.
therapist angle. That's a
Or-
big one. I feel like
I mean,
that's
we could be wrong and they could be
Hmm.
digging it up, but what if they're getting close to the victims?
you need the ease of info. I mean that if you're hearing it from the horse's mouth, yeah.
Hmm.
Tell me, how does that make you feel? And then they just divulge it out, all the horrible shit. And then a therapist that's going around killing people. Who would expect a fucking therapist? I mean,
Especially, and they wouldn't necessarily have to be a strong man if we're
No.
going at, because we know that there was no struggle really. What if the crucifixion aspect is an aspect of repentance? You go up on the cross to die for your sins. What if they're
I mean,
trying to make up for it and then they kill them?
I don't know. I
They
mean,
don't know necessarily
once the
that
first nail was going on, I'd be like, I don't know about this one, Chief.
that's the thing. What if
I
that
mean,
was
how do you?
penance? Because that was never what killed them. The crucifixion didn't kill them. What if it wasn't? They weren't supposed to die. They were just supposed to suffer, and then they'd be taken off the tree, taken off the cross. It was. If we look at time of death, we know that I remember Terrence was shot after. Was she up on the thing and then disemboweled, or was she disemboweled first?
She would have been disemboweled after. Yes.
So they might have agreed to that part. And
I
then
don't
once they
know.
were
Maybe she didn't. Maybe on this one
but that's why
judge, jury, executioner situation, maybe she said something he didn't like and made her suffer more because of it.
But
I don't know.
also we know that Terrence didn't fight at all, even when that first nail went in. Because remember, that was a question that we had on like episode 1 or 2. Was like, I say in the correct timeline, but I'm saying for mine
Yes.
was we were like, why was there no fighting back at that part? Because we know now that he wasn't drugged.
I mean, that's a
What if this is a repentance scheme gone wrong?
this for some weird fucked up therapist, because the therapist, I mean,
Or religious aspect.
yeah,
But
maybe
no,
it's a therapist with, they have a
That's
fucking
the
Bible
religion
available
thing.
to them.
I mean, let me
mean,
pull up that
lots of-
line again.
Lots of people can read the good book.
I have to scroll way up for this. Whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. What if that's not? Now, hear me out. What if that's not our killer? What if that's Terrence as the one saying it? Whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. What if it could be a repentance line?
The Father may be glorified in the Son, but I wouldn't think. I mean, I don't think his dad is gaining anything by.
Well,
having his
generally, Father
kid
and
dead.
Son might be more to the
Hmm.
religious scale than the that
Oh.
Father.
Oh.
The Father.
Oh.
If he's the Son and he's glorifying his Father, whatever
By
you ask in my name.
crucifying himself or a quasi.
Big Daddy G.
I'm just saying.
But I can't. Why the tree? I mean, if you're gonna crucify somebody, why not go the Naomi route? And I mean, did they just not have 2x4s available for that shit? And they're like, well, we'll make it work.
Maybe.
I mean, we'll improvise.
I mean, it's just another angle on this that could look into. What if?
As you're sitting there, going through all this, the fax starts going off again. And you take up the first page, and it just says, "I'm so sorry." And then it keeps going. And it keeps going. And it keeps going. And when it's done, you easily have probably 20, 25 cases with all possible twos.
Oh, I thought
Detective Dallas.
I thought it was 25 pages and it's just one word on each page. No. It's the serial killer
you
sending
are
shit.
About no. But
no, I got that it was Dallas. Like, I'm so sorry. This could be any of this.
They know our fax machine. Where the fuck is he?
So yeah, you get about 25 different cases in that all have like possible twos. That you will have to go through. You also get back medical history for one. Terrence Hollow shows nothing from his time in Russellville. Back in Dallas, there were some stuff when he was a kid, like he broke an arm falling off a tree.
But nothing psychological.
Nothing psychological. No, never went to a psychiatrist or psychologist or a therapist. It is. Though, in fairness, considering who his father is, shouldn't come as a surprise. That's not how we do it here. We don't need no damn stinking shrinks. So yeah, you will have a ton of cases to go through. Next time, the very last time, unless you have something you want to do at the very end here before we.
Oh, I was just gonna lightly peruse through them, see if not even almost looking at the main whatever murder has happened, but looking at the photos around to see if there's any, there's 2 solo cups stacked on each other in an odd manner. Since that seems to be a hallmark of all this.
Nothing pops out from the picture. There are several pictures where you can see like 2 plates on a table, for example, or like someone holding I don't know, two pairs of silverware is like by their hand, like a knife and a spoon, or like a knife and a fork. I mean, there's a ton of little bits that you just see through. What you basically get going through it is. This is gonna be
a lot of
some bullshit work, yeah. With a lot of detail.
Before we go off, I get Kyle and Murphy to go through. Well, no, we don't trust Kyle. I get Murphy to go through.
Yes, Murphy.
She can ask Ari if she wants help.
Yes. Officers Murphy and Ari are on duty. Meanwhile, as the chief has understood that we no longer trust Officer Kyle. He has put Officer Ash in charge of keeping an eye on him. So they're doing that. So yeah, Officer Kyle is being kept an eye on. And with that, they go to work, and that'll be Tuesday ends. It has now been over a week, and supposedly the killer may already be far away from you, but you're going to give it one last nudge and hope that you find him this Wednesday, where we should be back at 3 p.m. EST, noon PST, and that'll be weirdly 8 p.m. CET. 7 p.m. GMT. I can keep going, but I can't.
Next time.
Do math again.
I don't want to do math.
Goddamn America and their daylight. Bullshit.
Yes. Thank you both for playing with me yet again. Thank y'all for coming and watching. So Wednesday will be their last attempt to solve this, or at least get close to solving this. After that, we take a little breather, and then another squad gets to solve a murder and maybe link it to this. Who knows? Maybe I'll just do other murders and have you all confused. We'll figure it out. Have a wonderful week. And you two have a wonderful week till Wednesday. Everyone, stay beautiful to
At
each
which
other.
point, have a terrible week and don't solve my murder. Thanks.
Please.
Later,
Stay
everybody.
wonderful,
Stay
y'all.
safe.
Peace.